Howdy y'all, and welcome to the MrMaple Show. Today is the 10 at 10 video for March 4th of 2025. Get excited, we're going to talk about 10 of the 20 trees getting listed today at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on MrMaple.
Guys, first up, we got an awesome introduction from the West Coast. We got California Sunset, an amazing maidenhair ginkgo that is also variegated.
Yeah, y'all, this was found as a variegated sport on the Cultivars Saratoga. So it's got that unique leaf shape of Saratoga with some really nice yellow variegation in there. It is striking, it is different. There's not another variegated ginkgo quite like California Sunset. It's got the similar shape of Saratoga, so it's gonna make an upright tree. It's an upright male, typically reaching 12 to 15 feet in 10 years, but you get that striped variegation in almost each and every leaf.
Yeah, that maidenhair, it's pretty nice hairdo, especially when you got them highlights going through it, man. This is one you'd pay a lot of money for at a upscale barbershop. But here we got it on the 10 at 10 today, coming at a pretty good price. Ginkgos, known for their fall color, known for their resistance to salt, heat, drought, cold, all of that stuff. An ancient tree right here too.
And this is a variegated one that is highly desired by collectors. It's gonna sell out quickly. This is the very first time we've ever listed California Sunset on MrMaple.com. Y'all, grab one today. This tree is awesome. I'm so excited to be offering it today on MrMaple.
Coming from one weird leaf to another, we got an awesome red pygmy linerlobum right here. Acer palmatum.
Yeah, this is a selection that came from Villa Toronto Gardens. It was actually sitting, the original tree sits beside the original Villa Toronto in Villa Toronto Gardens. Our friend Cor Van Gelder in the Vestveld Nursery was doing a talk on gardening and just happened to be visiting the nearby gardens, Villa Toronto, and saw this tree, grafted it, named it Red Pygmy. It's got that shorter and wider stature to it, which is really nice, and that red color.
Yeah, I like the reds that it has during the springtime. Moving to more sort of greenish colors during the summer, then back to a vibrant red. And one of my favorite things about linerlobums is seeing that fall color. It's gonna show off during the spring, but then when all those frilly little leaves start lighting up with just like a fire, it really creates a nice contrast, a nice effect in the garden that you're gonna get to enjoy.
Yeah, and with red pygmy, you get this nice vase shape to it, that bamboo aesthetic with that linerlobum style leaf. Adds a neat texture in the garden, but with red pygmy, you get that red color as well.
Yeah, obviously, Tim, we all know what he's going to want to pair this with, but throw in some yellow threads right there. You're going to have that contrast of that yellow and that red, especially with the linerlobum leaves playing off each other. It's going to look pretty awesome.
Dude, I was going to say pair with the Macawi Atabusa.
Hey, well, you can do that
too. Y'all, grab one. Awesome tree, not a huge set. Make sure you take advantage of these cool while we listen today. Guys, next up, we've got a Macawa type. We're bringing you Acer palmatum Tattoo. Slower growing, more ruffled foliage, really tight and dense. An awesome Macawa selection that is heavily desired.
Yeah, I love seeing this just in the garden, out there in the landscape. It is, like more of a ball form kind of Macawa, and I think that lends well to its form, its structure. Such tight, dense shingling going on in this, such a nice serrated leaf, and if you're working in a super small garden, this is perfect for it. It's definitely not going to outgrow the landscape.
And it's named after the small guy who says deplane, deplane. His name's Tattoo. And, we've made so many jokes about where it's from. I think it's Fantasy Island, but part of me wants to say, is it Gilligan's Island? No. I can't remember exactly where it is because we've made so many jokes about where the character's from. Let us know in the comments below. Y'all, super slow growing, dense, compact form though. Good red fall color, slower growing than Macawa, and it's really one of the smallest selections in that Macawa family. The ruffled leaves give you unique texture. Great container plant, great for those small places. Y'all, grab you a Tattoo today.
Oh yeah.
Guys, next up, we've got the harbinger of spring. We've got Acer palmatum Katsura.
Guys, you can see it's already starting to turn springtime here in Western North Carolina. Got some buds popping. Katsura is, coming out for the winter like that groundhog, man. It's checking, seeing what's up. And it's gonna be a vibrant oranges and yellows in the garden. This is one that's gonna pack a punch for the springtime and let you know, hey, my homies are about to start coming out too, and we're here to party, man.
And I see those buds starting to leaf. It leaves out in the spring as a yellow with an orange-red kind of border around each and every leaf. giving a really nice yellow-orange overall effect. Later on in the season, gives you that nice yellow-green color during late spring and some good red fall colors. It's fast-growing, it's heat-tolerant, 10 to 12 feet in 10 years. So it makes a good-sized upright tree. We've got a full cultivar breakdown here on the MrMaple Show. You can go check it out on Katsura. Y'all, an amazing spring interest that really is just dynamic out there in the landscape and garden. When you see this tree leafing out, you know spring is right around the corner.
Yeah, and oranges and yellows, such a nice color to contrast other things with. You know, throw some purples in there, you know. It's gonna get cool, it's gonna look nice, and this is one I always love, walking through that greenhouse, especially during the springtime. It's gonna call you, and it's gonna be like, yo, I'm Katsura, what's up? Guys, we're coming with some more heat right here. We got Kuro hime. This is an awesome tree, especially during that summertime where you have a darker layering kind of foliage with those cherry pink reds over top. Such amazing contrast. I know we had some 10 gallons at one point come in, and holy cow, they were putting on a show.
Yeah, they can really put on some amazing pink colors in the early spring, some pink purples with a nice compact habit. It's more upright at an early age with really small leaves, becoming wider with age as it sort of fills out. It fits in small places really well, and it gives you some really dynamic summer interest when you see a dark green color on the leaves, like a blue-green kind of color, but then you get this like purple-pink color on the new growth. It is amazing out there in the landscape and garden and makes a great container plant.
Kuro hime has such awesome cathedral-type growths, you know, like Tim's saying, it shoots off those kind of vigorous shoots at first and then kind of fills in on those branches that are lower. It has such a nice shape, you know. Plant it near maybe that's something like that tattoo next to a makawa. Maybe even like Kurenai Jishi, you know, you kind of see those all similarities.
Maybe summer gold?
Yes, maybe a summer gold if you like summer gold. It's going to be nice for that contrast. This is one of those ones, you know, put it anywhere. It's going to be playing around with those other maples visually, and it's such a dope tree.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to grow, it's heat tolerant, it's proven itself to be a really beautiful tree that can be a staple in the trade, because it gives some dynamic colors in the spring, some great colors during the summer. And I didn't mention its fall color, but it gives you some really nice orange reds in the fall, and it's underrated for fall color. For a dwarf, it's very consistent and gives you some really nice orange reds out there in the landscape and garden. Y'all, easy to put out there in the garden, and it makes a big impact. So if you don't have Kuro hime, now's the time to grab one. Guys, next up, we've got Acer palmatum Hana matoi. This is a weeping red lace leaf that has pink variegation. So it gives that red lace leaf feel that everybody's looking for with that extra flair.
Yeah, I think I love this tree so much. You know, it was in one of my top fives. It's one that I just really enjoy, especially seeing it in different locations, you know, because people, sometimes you can put this in the shade, it'll get more greens, whites, and pinks. If you put it more in the sun, it's going to get more reds and pinks, similar to something like Lillian's Jewel kind of reds and pinks going on, all on top of a lace leaf. And one of my favorite places I've seen this is at Talon's. He's got this old, you know, he cheated a little bit, you know, he grafted some of the Hana matoi onto something that was already there. But seeing it in a beautiful red pink display in full sun is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, when you see a red weeping Japanese maple, that cascading umbrella form with flares of pink all across it, looks like it has flowers on the lace leaf from a distance. You get some amazing colors out there. It is outstanding. Hana matoi basically translates as a mop-like totem. You can even see in some Asian ceremonies or parades today where they're going around on a parade and they've got these like mop-like totems. And then Hana meaning flower, so it's one of those matois that's decorated with flowers. And that's what you get with this tree, is a red Japanese maple that looks, because it has such pink variegation on there, like it has flowers on it.
Yeah, I love this tree so much. It is, you know, whenever I got my own house, it's going to be a staple right there in the garden. You know, you get to enjoy it a lot. I love seeing those just absolutely pink splashes that you get in this, mixed in with the greens, whites, or reds. It's a very versatile tree. Very nice for the modern landscape for sure.
Guys, next up we've got Japanese Sunrise, a selection that was found by our good friend Billy Schwartz. Didn't really know this till I was on the phone interviewing him and he started talking about his introductions. Shane was named after his daughter. Japanese Sunrise, same guy, amazing. Upright, gives you some good winter interest. Yellows to oranges, based from east to west.
Yeah, I love the dynamic uniqueness of this tree. You know, most coral barks, it is a vertical change in color. This one, you've got a horizontal change in color, you know. Getting that beautiful gradient, named after, you know, some of the most beautiful sunrises in Japan, which hopefully I'll be getting to see.
The land of the rising sun.
Yes, exactly. You know, this coral barks adds such a nice color during the winter landscape, and this one is just going to kind of give you something a little bit different.
Yeah, and if I wasn't clear earlier, literally one side that's facing east gets a little more red to it, and then the side that gets west, I believe, is a little more yellow. I may have that backwards. One person once told me that there was another selection called Japanese sunset that was the reverse of Japanese sunrise, but the truth is they got it mislabeled and they just turned the pot around. Guys, next up we've got Pinus mugo amber gold. This is a dwarf mountain pine that gives you some good yellows to amber colors during those winter months.
Yeah, I mean, having, you know, there's a large selection of those kind of golden mugos. This one definitely gets very, very far on the amber color range. You know, very deep, very, you know, rich colors of amber during the winter time. And these suckers are just some you just, I feel like you can plop them anywhere because it's going to add such a nice contrast. It's going to help with the bones of your garden during the winter time, and the contrast is off the scale here.
Yeah, 2.5 to 3 feet in height by 3 to 4 foot in width in 10 years. Fits on a lot of people's gardens. Great container plant. It's a great way to add year-round interest in a maple garden. Can handle a little more sun than some of your Japanese maples because it's a conifer. And make sure you give it plenty of good drainage. With Japanese maples and especially conifers, you don't want them to have wet feet.
Yeah, this is going to be one that is zones 2 through 8, so a lot of people in the United States are going to be able to grow it, and it's pretty awesome. I love like that kind of ball shape that it gets as it matures, and this is a cool one for sure.
And I would say this one is one that does go to more of a richer green color during the summer months, the late spring and summer, but then as that winter approaches, that cold temperatures come in, you get more of that yellow, orange, amber hues that makes this one famous.
Definitely.
Now guys, before we get into the last two today, we've got an open house coming up April 5th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You're going to be here. They're going to have in-person shopping. That means you can walk through these greenhouses and see all the cool plants we have. Every house has different things, unique Japanese maples, conifers, camellias, rare just plants that you won't see anywhere else. And each house probably has more Japanese maples in it than you'll find in almost any other nursery. So you have to come check it out. It's always a fun time because there's fun people who collect Japanese maples just like you. Always a fun time. And guys, I'm going to have a game show that happens that day, kind of like in the Jeopardy style theme. So get excited. It's going to be fun, great time. And if you want to shoot one of our top 5s, you've probably seen those on our channel, let us know ahead of time or let us know that day. We'd love to shoot a top 5 of your Japanese maples when you're here at the MrMaple Festival, April 5th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Nativar alert, man. We got an awesome native plant species here for you guys today of Chinanthus virginicus spring fleecing, an awesome fringe bush.
Yeah, the fringe bushes, the fringe trees, also known as Grancy graybeards, they're amazing in the landscape. They have these long white tasseled flowers and they're really beautiful. I mean, you just have this in the springtime, they're fairly heat tolerant, and all the animals, the butterflies, the bees, all the pollinators, they love going and flocking to the white blooms. As these trees get established in the landscape, they can make a larger tree. We're talking 14, 15 feet in height, and just makes this beautiful display just completely coated in those white blooms before the leaves come out.
And guys, no need to worry about fruits because this is an all male cultivar right here, a spring fleecing, which means it's going to give you longer blooms. It's going to be more richly blooming, and you don't have to worry about stinky fruits.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the bigger problems with the Chinanthus virginicus of the female selections is they do produce the fruits, which can be an issue for parking lots or gardens because you're dropping all these little brown purple fruits around in the garden. But with spring fleecing, it's a male selection, which means those blooms are prettier, like you mentioned. So those blooms are longer, have longer white tassels to them, and so it's more showy, and you don't have to have those negative side effects of the fruits. If you are looking for the fruits and you have a female selection, this is a male one, so it will pollinate your females.
And who doesn't love a flashy native? All right, guys, call your mama because we got Higasayama right here.
Yo, we got some Higasayamas in 3 gallons. It's one of my favorite reticulated Japanese maples. And you know, we often refer to J.D. Vertrees, who said this is commonly called as the popcorn maple. I've seen a few videos where some people say, I call it the popcorn maple. It's like, come on guys, give the credit where it's due. You probably heard it from us that we said it about J.D. Vertrees. Y'all, an amazing, super heat tolerant, upright, reticulated Japanese maple with some great pink color in the early spring and green veins. And that's dynamic in that springtime. And when it unfurls, it does look like little popcorn coming out. It's real crumpled and sort of uniquely leafed as it's coming out.
Yeah, I mean, this tree is worth having just on the seedlings that pops out alone. I mean, you think about things like eye candy, you think about things like Alpenweiss, you know, like all those plants coming from, you know, this parentage right here. It's such a dope plant. I love the variegation. It really just has such intricate variegation. The leaves unfurling is such a interesting feature as well, and it gives you some pretty nice shape. Not going to get too wide in the garden. It's just going to look magical whenever that springtime comes and you just kind of get that beautiful speckling of white all across your tree.
Now, with Higasayama, there's some easy ways to have the best variegation. Avoid heavy amounts of fertilizer when it's leafing out. Try to let it leaf out slower, and you're going to hold that dynamic variegation better in that early spring when it's coming out in the early spring. If you over fertilize it, you can push it to come out completely green, but don't worry, next year you're going to have those amazing variegation again. It doesn't revert, but if you over fertilize it, you can actually make it greener for that 1 year.
Yeah, man, an awesome tree, one you're going to love in your in your garden, and this is one that's just going to have so much contrast with the rest of the garden.
Higasayama, same cultivar as Higasayama with a K. Just how different people pronounce it slightly differently. An amazing upright tree out there in the landscape and garden. It was, for years, it was actually my business card. It was the photo I had on my business card. It was the tree that I told everybody you had to get. It wasn't summer gold back in the day. It was Higasayama, and it's still one of my favorites today. You're going to love this tree the more you have it in the early spring. You see this tree just unfurling. It's dynamic out there. It's really awesome. We got some good size 3 gallons today.
Oh yeah. Guys, if you like this 10 at 10, make sure to smash that like button. Hit subscribe. Hey, if you're crazy, hit that notification bell down below. Share it with your gardening friends. And just remember, this is only 10 of the 20 plants that are getting listed today. If you want to check those other 10 out, make sure to sign up for the email. You can find that on the website. And yeah.
And y'all, we've got on our open house coming up April 5th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. More details for that can be found on MrMaple.com as well. Take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.